Salutations everyone, and welcome to another Overwatch video here with Hanzo. Now this is some pre-patch gameplay, so this is before Hanzo got the buff to the speed of the arrows and the the changes to the hitbox sizes of the arrows. So we're doing some defense here on Hanamura because I'm not one of those idiots that plays Hanzo on attack on every single map and then like has a weird time figuring out why that the team lost. And I don't know what those people are doing picking Hanzo and Widowmaker every time they're on attack, but I am not one of those people. So Hanzo is not one of the better characters in the game. I'd say even after the buff he's probably bottom 3 along with Widowmaker and Winston, but he's a very fun player to play as. First of all, he's the only one with arrows. He's the only one with some gravity affecting his projectiles, and they're quite strong. You can fire them at a faster rate than Widowmaker's shot at full charge. So as long as you're accurate, you can put out a lot of damage with this dude. But that is of course the name of the game, being accurate with this guy. He's very squishy, 200 health, pretty standard there. His mobility isn't fantastic, he's not Genji. He can't, grapple to places like Widowmaker can, but he can climb walls. But like with a lot of characters in this game, the only way you can play them effectively is if you have a team that will, pretty much allow you to do so. And we got a couple of tanks, we got a healer in here, so I felt that Hanzo does have some maps in some cases where he can definitely be effective, and I do like him decently here on Hanamura, where I would typically go with Ana or Diva. I decided to go the Hanzo direction because at the very least there is some room to work with, because when you're using a sniper outside of Ana, who it doesn't need to be offensive to be effective, because she's a healer, you're gonna want some space if you're gonna be either Hanzo or Widowmaker, because they're not gonna do anything close range. Even a Winston can come in with a little Tesla cannon, wreck up shop. Genji completely eliminates snipers from the equation. All he has to do is go after them and they're basically dead, and we destroy rip tires because that's what we do. An accurate Hanzo is a very dangerous Hanzo, and if you can keep him in the back, keep those tanks, those agitators up front, maybe getting some heals, Hanzo can definitely make some noise as long as he's accurate, get some of those stray shots, get some one-hit, headshot KOs possibly, take care of Bastions and Torbjorns. He's really good at that because of, he doesn't have the damage drop off over range that other characters have, and it's a precise shot, and the fact that he could shoot faster than Widowmaker makes him one of the better characters at taking out Bastions and Torbjorn turrets. So he definitely has a good role to play if the opportunity presents itself, because he's not someone who could take a lot of hits. He's not somebody who can hold aggro very well and take the attention away from either your teammates or the objective. He's really, he's an accessory. He's an accessory character. He's not going to be able to do a ton of the most damage. He's not going to get the most kills. He's not going to help on the objective. Both of his abilities are offensive. The recon arrow does help everybody, as long as you can get somebody within the range of it. And here this this enraged Winston just gets obliterated by these turrets, and some teammate help there on shooting my arrows, getting some scatter shots in there when you get the multiple bitches lined up, and their Reaper just gets you from behind. But I probably would have died to his ult anyway. So there goes the 18 kill streak that we had going there. So it's not typical of Hanzo gameplay to get kill streaks of that nature, but our team was doing a good job at keeping them behind the wall. I had a Reinhardt in front of me for the most of the time, and I was able to, get some of those pop shots in. Hanzo, while he is, a weak character and stands mostly in the back, he's not going to draw a lot of attention. So typically, for the most part, your enemy team isn't going to be focusing on you first and foremost because, Hanzo's not that big of a threat. On average, he doesn't do that well. So typically, they'll go after, the Reinhardt or the Roadhog or the Diva or, maybe the Mercy who's healing people and, is really easy to kill. But Hanzo can get a very easy target painted on his back, and it's going to be difficult to do anything to stop yourself from dying as Hanzo. All he can do is climb and just hope that he can have teammates to kind of help him out, kind of like a Mercy. He's not going to do very much for himself at close range. At long range, he can challenge, and if you're without your scatter arrow, you're going to find yourself in circumstances where, all you're going to have to do is, get a headshot fully charged at close range to protect yourself. Poor Widowmaker. Another one bites the dust. It's nice when you get those free one-shot headshots lined up for you. But here, I believe I lose the 1v1 to the Caduceus gun. And that's never a good feeling. Never a good feeling losing the 1v1 to a Mercy. Even though the Caduceus gun packs a wall up, even more so than Diva's handgun, which, is also quite embarrassing when you die too. But Hanzo can't do anything close range. Especially since you're gonna have to be, accurate with those shots. Maybe you don't go for the full pullback, full power on your arrow, and you just try to, get a panic little headshot maybe to finish somebody off. If you're without your scatter arrow, which, can usually guarantee you a hit or two at close range. Sometimes, it just completely misses, and, that's totally something that happens. But you're definitely going to have to rely on your teammates to give you opportunities to both kill and to survive. So Hanzo is definitely not a must pick, not a character you see a lot, especially in competitive. Even with a scatter shot arrow, I can't finish that soldier's life, even though he isn't the tankiest character in the world. You're still gonna need a lot of perseverance with Hanzo. And when it comes to the 1v1s on snipers, you do have a pretty, distinct chance at, getting those kills. Or if they're not paying attention, like I said, with, Bastions lining up for a turret shot, Hanzo can definitely sneak in there with a fully charged shot or two and just completely take you out. So mobile characters, not very easy targets for Hanzo, whether it be a Tracer or, a Reaper that's blinking in and out of existence or something like that. Maybe it's a Soldier 76 running back and forth, or a Mercy or a Pharah flying away. Hanzo's definitely going to have some struggles, and I definitely agree with the buff that they gave him to increase that arrow speed. Ooh, Widowmaker bites the dust again. She is not winning this sniper battle, and she ain't getting the health when she needs it. So he was definitely deserved of a buff in this game because his impact was not being felt. Even in circumstances where it felt like, there's a lot of places for a sniper to hide, be it Hanzo or Widowmaker, it just never felt like, he was the correct choice or, the best choice for the occasion. Obviously, if you're a better shot or if you have, a really good team that can give you room to breathe, then, Hanzo might be a decent choice. But in most circumstances, he was not, and I think the buff definitely helped him a little bit. It didn't really change his role or how effective I feel that he was, but you're just going to get a little bit more consistency because the arrow speed is a wee bit faster. And, the hitbox changes, I think those will come and go based off of what problems will precede them in the future. So I think there's going to be a little bit of changes here and there with the hitboxes, but for the most part with Hanzo, his role and his effectiveness, I don't believe is going to change in the game. But he can be very fun and can be quite effective. You know, his Dragon Strike ult isn't fantastic. You don't see them getting many kills. Not nearly what they could do, you know, in the beta. We would see, you know, a couple of those a game and be like, oh shoot, this thing, it just lasts forever and it's got a continuous hitbox and it's crazy. But everyone got wise to it. As soon as you hear that Ryuga Wakateki Wokuraru, you take cover, you know, you can see where those dragon heads are coming from. So obviously, mostly effective if you do it like pretty much point blank through a wall. That way it doesn't give the enemy team any time to, you know, see it coming and avoid it. Also, you know, it's really good with, you know, a Zarya Graviton Surge, or maybe a bunch of bitches are frozen with Mei's ult, or, you know, an Earth Shatter from Reinhardt, but definitely the Zarya Graviton Surge is the best synergizing ult with Hanzo, because even with a Reinhardt shield, they are not safe on block, and that Graviton Surge keeps them locked up for a good amount of time. So we get the victory here on the defense on Hanamura. We see this Reinhardt, no, this Roadhog get played the game here. Fallen Sniper 36, you know how it is online. If someone has the word sniper in their gamer tag, they are not going to be sniping. It may not be Call of Duty, but the same rules apply. You don't see very many snipers in this game, especially Hanzo's, even though he is Husbando as fuck. Yeah, he still is quite the niche role. So there's the final game with him. Nice 18 kill streak. Don't get additional accolades outside of that, but I do get gold here on eliminations, and we also get a bronze on objective kill, objective time, silver in damage. No Dragon Strike kills, but 30-4 ain't nothing to sneeze at on Hanzo defending his home turf on Hanamura.